Good luck.
Enjoy yourselves, everybody. Hardik Pandya at 18. Let's put that down first, shall we?
Can we?
Why? We're already there, are we? Or shall we put? And I'll put the second one at Bumrah at 18 because you're going to definitely have those two
What
locked
about
down.
Surya and Rohit?
In my list, I actually I saw them not retaining Rohit Sharma. I see Rohit Sharma becoming the headline maker of the auction.
I think the way that things panned out in the last edition of the IPL, he would be, I think a little bit disillusioned with what's happened over the last 6 to 12 months. But in saying, you said Hardik at 18 and Bumrah at 18, I'd have Bumrah and Surya Kumar Yadav at 18 and Hardik at 14.
So that means Hardik leaves again. Sorry.
And then
Well, that's up to him, but all you can put it down to is performance, form, and fitness, and all those. When you dissect all of those areas with Hardik Pandya, does he deserve to be an 18 crore player? And who, if you've got an 18 crore player, he's got to be a genuine match winner and do it regularly. And Hardik, through his trials and tribulations over the last edition of the IPL, was struggling with both the fitness and also the performance.
And Tom, I'm guessing you've gone for Tilak as your 11 crore player then, Tilak Verma?
Absolutely.
I guess we all agree is Rohit goes into the auction and MI use the RTM card for that. I suspect they will risk it and go with that 75 crores and retain every one of them.
So you're saying Surya, Bumrah, Hardik, Rohit all retained, and
unless there is whatever the speculation is about a couple of those names that they are very unhappy in that sense, and they would rather kind of renegotiate, and if they don't go to the auction, then everything changes. But let's not go into that discussion right now. But I feel that they might risk this 75 crores and then.
I mean, the other thing to consider, and a lot of people are putting this in the comments as well, is that Mumbai has been built on their uncapped young players, and there are a lot of uncapped players who they can consider. Like there's Nehal Vadhera, there's Namandhir, there's Akash Madwal. All three of those guys, to be honest, are players who I think you would look at as uncapped.
We're also saying here Piyush Chawla qualifies as an
Piyush
uncapped.
Chawla, yeah. But I don't think.
I don't think
not Piyush, but players like Nehal Vadhera, Namandhir, there aren't that many finishers of that type in Indian cricket. And Akash Madwal is a fast bowler who had a difficult season last year, but clearly has potential.
I think is there any likelihood that these big four names would be short retentions in a lot of places that we may not see all of them retained at MI?
That's a possibility.
It is possible.
It is possible still.
I'm curious, Tom, whether retaining a lot of these big players, looking at the 3-year cycle, whether that would be in Mumbai's interest or whether just Hardik convince Bumrah, and maybe you can look at Tilak Verma and some of the other players you mentioned, maybe even an Ishan Kishan. But if that means you send Rohit and Surya Kumar Yadav into the auction, so be it.
Yeah, I look at. They have had their difficulties at the auction table the last couple of years. They've sort of got caught up being sort of, in a way, too loyal in some cases and try to retain players or get players back into their squad from the auction, which has cost them dearly. And both examples was Ishan Kishan and Jofra Archer, both come at a heavy price. Did they get the return they require? I look at Ishan Kishan and I think, he's a terrific player. He's very exciting, but also runs very hot and cold. How many games does he actually win off his own bat? Yeah. That's the question you got to ask, and if you're paying him, up around 14 crore for a retention, are you going to get that return on a performance point of view, regardless of the fact that he's been in a Mumbai shirt for the last 5 or 6 years? So, they may need to make some hard decisions around that. But if they can retain, Hardik, Bumrah, Surya Kumar Yadav and Tilak Verma, in my view, that's a good four to retain. How you sort out the finances is, whether you, average it out and help, sort of all go in at the same level. and then look at maybe Rohit Sharma, depending on what his intentions are, as a right to match in the auction. You don't know what those conversations are going to be.
So Hardik, Bumrah, Surya, and Tilak Verma, the 4 lock-ins here. Anyone going for Mumbai to just fill up the whole complement over there? And between the players that we have mentioned, there's also a Tim David there. There's the chance to retain either Vadera or Namandhir as your uncapped.
I would go with 2 uncapped. Yeah, I would probably go with Namandhir and Akash Madwal as my 2 uncapped. I think Namandhir, I'm just going off the eye test, but he looks a player who could be one for the future, and he's an all-rounder. He bowls off spin as well. And Akash Madwal is just an Indian fast bowler who can bowl at the depth, which you don't get for less than 4 crores in the auction anyway.
Yeah, I like that. I like that option.
And that would still mean retaining a decent amount, because that's what, 61, that's 69 crore.
But that also means you're done with your RTMs. If you cover 4 Indian players, so Surya, Bumrah, Hardik, Tilak, 4 players done, 2 uncapped done, which means you go into it with just your balance purse.
Which also means Rohit Sharma is done.
Yeah. Unless you buy him back. Buy him back. Rohit Sharma, Ishan Kishan, both names that if they want to retain that core, they pay whatever it costs them.